Welcome back, Division I Rejects. This is episode 64, July 7th. We're coming to you here tonight. The OGs in the studio, Kobe and myself. I'm your host, fellas. How we doing? Greatest back in the country, Tyshawn
Hello.
King. How are you, man?
I'm living life,
Doing all right?
man.
Doing all right? And
A little sore.
can't forget Jimbo in the Purdue shirt.
Yeah.
What is that?
No, it's
What is that?
That's prospect.
That's
buddy.
prospect.
Yeah.
That's prospect football.
That looks exactly the same.
It is. No, and
Okay, good.
our
Except
short,
it's navy blue.
Our baseball, our baseball
that.
logo is the same as the Padres. It's just like the Padres P. You know what I'm talking about?
So you're just ripping off everybody.
Oh, exactly.
That's
no,
crazy.
We're just copying everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever works, right?
Oh yeah, you know.
That's good. But
You can trick them, you can beat them.
we've got a good episode for you today. Drew Carpenter's coming on. You guys remember Drew from Northwood?
Who?
He's not coming on here to talk about Northwood or GMAC football or any of that today though, because Baker Mayfield is going to Carolina. That was announced just yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just yesterday as we record this on Thursday night. So Wednesday that got announced. Carolina picks up Baker for a conditional 5th round pick and picks up a chunk of his current contract as well. We'll talk about that at length. Have a really good conversation with Drew here shortly. Otherwise, in the NFL, Trent Williams. He's the first big man on the O-line to become a member of the 99 club in Madden.
As he should.
That's huge.
He's
That's
unbelievable.
He's like the I don't even want, stereotype's not the right word, but like the echelon of offensive linemen.
So
like
is
he's at the summit.
he's the first NFL lineman to ever get a 99?
Offensive lineman, yeah.
False.
I just
What did Bakhtiari get or something?
Nope.
who?
The old Browns tackle. He used to be. I've been playing Madden.
Joe
for
Thomas?
Years. Yeah, Joe Thomas. He was a 99.
He was a 99?
Yeah.
Then someone lied to me. Some article
think
lied to
It's
me.
the 99 club. They just made the 99 club.
Okay.
I was
So
just
maybe
seeing if y'all was really locked in or not. But Joe Thomas used to be a 99.
Yeah, Joe Thomas
And
definitely was.
Left tackle for Joe Staley, too. He used to be a 99.
Joe Staley did?
Like Madden 12.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
With Peyton Hillis on the cover. Your favorite player, actually.
I do like me some Peyton Hillis.
I know.
Otherwise, we got a good fun little story for us, and that is Aaron Rodgers' goofy ass new tattoo that he got that looks like, let's
Look at me, I'm Aaron Rodgers. I got a tattoo. Ugh. I remember my first tattoo. I was like 18. Whatever. Aaron Rodgers, man. I'm
2 years ago.
done. I'm done with him, man. I'm done with that.
That was like 2 years ago.
3.
You got the camera on him?
I got,
right
dude, it's
here.
been on him.
Put that, like,
It's been on him.
he just exploded.
It's getting clipped for sure. There's no doubt, dude. That was good.
I ain't never seen Jimmy get that enemy. He put his arm out like Spider-Man.
Because he's got it right here. He's got like 2 lions and he's got like the third eye and like a map of something. Who freaking knows what that is? Like, whatever. Man.
Yeah,
It looks. I saw a good tweet.
He
And
saw that
pull it up.
tattoo and wanted to get his removed.
No.
I saw, and we'll talk about it later. But I saw a good tweet. It was like, it looks like it belongs on a tapestry in like a girl that's into astrology's room or something like that.
No, definitely.
Like
He probably-
Somebody else
like-
retweeted and said, "Oh, so he's not afraid of needles."
oh my god.
Oh, that's funny.
That's good.
That's funny.
That's good. Damn. Otherwise, in a more uplifting type of news, the Raiders, they made history finally for a good reason. They hired the first ever.
I talking about finally for a good reason. That's tough. You know the Chargers got the most people that's been arrested in like the past 10 years? Yeah, they got more than the Raiders.
Wow. I wrote that and I chuckled a little bit when I wrote that.
That was good.
Anyways,
That was really good.
not to steal the thunder of her, but they hired the first ever black female president of an NFL team. Come on.
Yeah.
So
That's
sweet.
big time.
Yeah.
That is huge,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
That's big for the
That's
game with all
amazing.
this shit going
That's
on right now
awesome.
with the Rooney Rule and all of these things with
They need to get rid of that rule.
isn't that crazy?
I hate that rule.
Well, like,
It's not. It doesn't seem to be doing anything. Is the
Don't.
problem, right?
They don't. It's never genuine.
No.
Like this hire on the outside right now
Seems-
seems genuine.
Yeah. Until we realize that her uncle is so. No, I'm just kidding. But like
You
that
know?
could happen.
But as of right now, it seems like a genuine hire. He hired the person that you
Believe
thought
was
would
most
best fill
yeah,
the position.
Exactly. We
And
like
that's
that.
how it's supposed
Yes.
to be.
We're here
You're
for
not
that.
supposed to hire somebody because you need a minority on the staff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. 100%.
Now it just make you the quality control coach. You just run around, make sure all the iPads charged up. You know? Yeah, that was a good one, wasn't it?
yeah.
Quality control.
Because that makes me think of, and like no shot to her. I'm blanking on her name, but the one for the 49ers. Yeah.
Like she literally
She's
just
like a quality
she's just
control
around.
coach.
She's just around.
I hope that's
And
not
they
the
say
case.
she's a good coach.
I clarify, like, we were all for like that type of coaching, women in coaching, of course.
Of course.
I really do hope
I
that's
get
not
coached
the case.
by a walrus if they could coach.
It doesn't matter who's coaching me. If someone's in front of me and they're telling me educated things about football, I'm going to listen to them. Like, if this person knows what they're talking about and they're trying to show me something to make me better, I'm going to listen to them.
Like if this dog don't show me how to hit the hole better, I'm gonna run after that dog.
Yeah.
I don't like that shouldn't matter.
It doesn't matter who's coaching me.
You should not have to have a rule that
Why was it a walrus?
if the walrus can coach, I'm gonna get coached by a walrus.
All he's saying is it doesn't matter who's coaching him.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I just
Just a
your
very,
brain
very
went somewhere
random-
else.
That's definitely a random thing. But
That's real life though.
I
Like,
get it. I get it for sure.
like the hires are never genuine, and that blows me. Yeah, come on, come take out our trash and make sure our laptops are charged up for film today.
Make
But
sure
you quality control.
Yeah, and make sure you get in front of the camera on Sunday. Right? Make sure everyone knows they're on the sideline.
You can take out our garbage and paint our lines, but we'll let you put on some team gear and walk the sidelines on Sunday.
We hope that's not the case. Of course, again, clarification. Otherwise, fellas, big news in college football. USC, UCLA joining the Big Ten. Like, that is the biggest news.
It's bizarre.
I saw a
It's
map.
huge.
I saw
It
a
is
map
huge.
for because Oregon going to the Big 12.
That hasn't been officially announced, right? I
But-
think it's like, it sounds like they're a target of the Big 12.
I saw a map. It was crazy.
Yeah.
The only conference that made sense geographically was the SEC.
Yeah.
The ACC has teams on the East Coast, the West Coast. The Big 10 and
Yeah.
Big 12 are all over the place.
And we're going to talk about that because of how much college football, especially at the Division I FBS level, has turned into a business, and money plays such a large part in that. And we'll see how much the TV deals play a huge part of that too. That, I think, is the biggest thing for me. You look at where a lot of this revenue comes in, that's a large amount of the revenue for these schools.
Mm-hmm.
They're not getting it on selling the hot dogs and ticket prices. Like, that's not where they're making money, right?
Like the Pac-12
And
going
it's
to
not it.
rediscuss their
yeah.
TV deal.
Yeah, I know where you're going with that. They wanted to negotiate early on their TV deal. So it'll be interesting. Also talked about joining up with the ACC to do, they've talked about loose conversations about doing a combined championship in Las Vegas, because they have the same partner in ESPN that does their coverage of their games. So we'll talk about that later as well, potential super conferences. And college football feels like it's just unraveling, like actually. And I don't know how long this is going to go on. This is, I think, a slippery slope is the best term to describe this. I don't know.
It'll be conference.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Conference-less football.
Yeah, it might be.
We're going to see, teams that you would never. We're going to see Clemson versus Nebraska week 7.
That was a great example of what you're just talking about, because I can't even imagine Clemson and Nebraska.
I saw a tweet. It's going to be like, would you rather see Iowa versus Wisconsin in a blizzard at Kinnick Stadium or Iowa versus USC? Like, there's no rivalry between Iowa and USC.
Yeah.
That's always Iowa, Wisconsin. I have friends at both schools. It's always been a huge game. Like, you want to play those rivalry games late in the season against your rivals. You don't want to play against some, you know what I mean?
No, I'm with you. And there used to be a lot more. The tradition is a good word. I think there used to be a lot more tradition. There used to be a lot more loyalty to these conferences. I'm gonna get this fly. Watch this. Oh, he's on my screen, dude. I got him. He survived.
Oh my!
Are you joshing?
As long as the screen survived.
He played dead for a second on my keyboard. He comes back in the interview with Drew Carpenter. But before we get to that, as always, you can watch this episode on YouTube. Don't forget about the timestamps at the bottom. If any of those topics sound particularly interesting to you, go to the timestamps at the bottom, drag the little slider on YouTube, go to that conversation, and get the hell out. Otherwise, stick around, listen to the whole thing. We'll appreciate you very much for it. You can listen pretty much anywhere, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it. Follow us on Twitter, Jimmy at
D1_Rejects,
and on Instagram at
Division 1 Rejects.
to see highlights from the show, and probably just a sense, probably that clip of Jimmy going off about Rodgers' new tattoo.
Yeah,
But
I hope so.
before we get into all of that conversation, we're going.
me. Look at me.
I'm Aaron Rodgers. I got a tattoo. Give it up, dude. And what's with he got this freaking haircut to be John Wick? Like he literally said he grew out his hair to be John Wick. Like, come on, bro.
'Cause
like,
he a
grow
killer.
Out, grow out your hair because you want to grow your hair. Like, whatever. I shouldn't even bother me. Whatever. He just caused so much emotional damage to me. I don't even like. This is whatever. I own you. No,
he owned Jimmy.
No. Oh, no. Like, Aaron Rodgers.
He got a penthouse up here
He
somewhere.
totally does. He totally does, and I hate him. I hate him so much. I hate Aaron Rodgers. I hate him.
This is a good start. This is a good start, fellas.
I hate him.
But before we get into all of that shit, let's go to the conversation with the man, Drew Carpenter. Joining us today on this stupendous 64th episode of Division I Rejects is Drew Carpenter, a man who's been on here before. You've seen him in the chair, in the basement, on the video. You've seen him all over the place. Northwood defensive back, Drew Carpenter. Drew, what's going on, fella? Good to have you back.
What's up, Kobe? What's up, guys? It's great to be back. It's like a little nephew that I have called Division I Rejects, so kind of like it.
Nephew? Is that like a little brother play on words? What is that?
I mean, it's your kid, so it's like
okay.
I see.
Nephew.
Okay, I get it. Yeah.
I know where you were going with that.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I could take that.
Yeah.
But, as much as we've talked about your Northwood days on here, that's not why you're on the show today, pal. You are the proponent of Baker Mayfield, one of the biggest fans of his that I've known. And like I've never been like, huge on Baker per se, but since college, you have loved this dude, and huge news comes out about him being traded to Carolina. I guess just like run me through. Did you ever think he was going to get out of Cleveland? Oh, wait, hold on. Let me get that full screen. Let's see that again.
That's one of the widgets right there, baby.
Love it.
I got the updated and the flag plant.
Wow, yeah.
That's good stuff. But did you actually ever think you were going to see him get out of Cleveland, or that he was just going to be stuck there for the rest of this year?
Well, I thought when Deshaun Watson got traded to the Browns, I called my buddy Bimba right away. I was like, all right, it's we're going to the Colts. My roommate Matt Paul, punter at Northwood, he's a Colts fan. He's like, hey, it's Baker time. And I'm like, all right. A couple months went by and no movement. And all of a sudden, I was driving home from work yesterday, and same thing. I would check every day, see if there was some new rumors. And all of a sudden, I checked Twitter, and Ian Rappaport, 2 minutes ago, Baker Mayfield's been traded. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. And I was just happy that it was all over for him.
Well, seriously, I bet he had to be overjoyed, because it sounded like it was going to be Seahawks for a minute, right? And then we didn't really know what was going on, and he thought he was going to be like a safety, almost like a backup for a while. Didn't know, because Deshaun obviously could still – that has to be a punishment, like looming. There's no way that something is not coming over this next month or so. I think we haven't really found out when that punishment's going to come down, but like –
Pushing for like a year.
That had to be – what's that?
They pushing for a year-long suspension.
Are they pushing for that for sure?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
That's what they're trying to give him.
I did not know that. That'd be huge. I mean, obviously not great for the Browns, but also remember they structured that into his deal, right? Was it only $1 million guaranteed
like
in that first year?
This year, and then he gets like $40 million a year after that.
So but with that is all that money is guaranteed. So it's like there's so many weird ways they work around that. But for Baker, a huge relief, and I know like I already don't have to ask you this, but he's beating out Sam Darnold for that QB1 job.
I mean, you wouldn't trade for a guy if you had utmost confidence in Sam Darnold. You're not trading for someone who
agreed
is the personality, the player level of Baker. Like, you may go sign nothing against this guy, but you may go sign a Tyrod Taylor to like try to mentor, or Drew Stanton.
Especially because every quarterback that has gone under Tyrod Taylor, it feels like, has gone on to be a stud.
Yeah, and well, Daniel Jones is underneath Tyrod, or playing with Tyrod Taylor, so I guess the curse is going to be over, because Daniel Jones is horrible.
That's true.
But yeah, and so, but I mean, there's no way the schedule makers, the football gods, they know they want to switch it to prime time. I'm sure the football gods want to. Browns versus Baker it's a game of the week, really, if you think about it. Like, would you rather watch Browns versus Baker or Russ returns to Seattle? There was no bad blood in Seattle. There's bad blood in Cleveland.
I think you could argue a little bit.
You could argue, but one's primetime Monday Night Football, and one's, Charles Davis from CBS Sports was like, oh, yeah, I want that game.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, it's like pretty obvious bad blood. Run out a franchise quarterback, whereas, like, I guess you could say Russell was just, like, looking for a bag, right? Like, that's kind of what it was, but all I know is we're going to get week one's going to come around, and on all Broncos social media, we're going to get, you already know what.
That's right.
Yeah, we're getting that in the stadium. That's getting blasted about before the game and Mile High. It's going to be sick, dude. But talk about Panthers, they pick up Baker for a conditional 5th round draft pick, and that was in 2024, I believe. And it also has been reported that they will be sharing, was the word, the $18.8 million on his deal from Cleveland that he is owed. So I don't know if any official numbers have really come out, but that seems like a freaking steal, man.
Yeah, the Panthers are eating like 11 million. The Browns are going to eat like 4.8. I think.
Flip that.
I saw that on like an ESPN. You know, like you're watching ESPN, you see like the little things go under the screen, like the
the ticker. Yeah.
I think it was something like that. Like,
interesting.
Like
Flip it.
And like 4 million.
Yeah, so they'll be taking the larger portion of that, which makes sense because that's something you got to give up to get the quarterback. Yeah.
Kobe.
Even still, that's a deal.
Kobe. The Browns are paying 10.5. The Panthers are paying 4.8, and Baker took a $3.5 million pay cut.
Okay.
So the exact opposite of what we just thought.
Yeah.
Maybe you just flipped the teams.
I must have just flipped the teams. I knew the numbers.
The numbers are right there. But so the Browns are paying more to get rid of him.
They're paying him $500,000 to play in week 1.
What was that?
They're paying him a little over $500,000 to play him week 1.
Yeah, against him.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
That's why he didn't get traded earlier.
That thought's wild. Yeah,
nobody wanted his contract.
Yeah. And yeah, well, I don't think you're right. I think you're right. It wasn't about the type of player, right? It was about the money that comes along with that type of player.
Well, and if you think about it, you're already paying Sam Darnold $18 million a year, and you're like, well, we're kind of screwed with that. So that's why they were trying to get it like as minimum as possible for the next quarterback, no matter who you brought in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. Now, talk about I don't know how big of like a Panthers guy, but you've obviously seen the Robby Anderson stuff. We're gonna react to some of that stuff here.
Yeah, hey, I've been doing my Panthers research for the last 24 hours. I know what's up now. Yeah.
Oh well, you had a huge Panthers guy sitting to my right here. So
I was gonna say we got to touch back. We have to touch back on those comments about the roster now.
Just spitting facts. At that point in time, I was spitting facts.
So now he's starting to retract a little bit.
I'm not.
Now he's saying at that point
I wasn't. Because it's not the same roster.
You're right. No, you said the other day they had lost some key pieces.
Wide receiver room, you got Terrace Marshall, DJ Moore, and Robby Anderson.
Yeah.
And Higgins.
Back, Christian McCaffrey.
Yep. Who was receiver in a lot of ways too.
They O-line was decent. At that point in time last year, their O-line was decent.
Mm-hmm.
On the defensive line, you got Hassan Reddick, Brian Burns, and Derek Brown.
Yeah.
Linebacker, you got Shaq Thompson. And on the back end, you got Stephon Gilmore, J.C. Horn, C.J. Henderson, A.J. Bouye, Jeremy Chin. That's a top 10 roster on paper. That's what I said. And it was like 5-0 at the time.
They were.
They signed Corbett from the Rams, who's an offensive lineman. They signed someone else who's an offensive lineman, and then they drafted Aquanu, which is huge. And then
not a top 10 roster.
Rashard Higgins signed with them. You remember Rashard Higgins, Kobe? Baker's guy in Cleveland?
Yeah.
He's on the Panthers now.
Since when?
Buddy.
I did not know that. I'm not locked into these like roster changes and stuff like that. I've seen the big stuff or the bigger stuff or like stuff that pertains to the Lions, which Hard Knocks coming up here pretty soon, man.
But you feel me? But when I said that, Jimmy said that the Panthers, or not the Patriots, had a better roster on paper than the Panthers.
Because they did, in my opinion. Like I said, we don't have to agree on it.
It's all opinion.
We don't have to agree on it. There's not going to be something. There's not going to be something in here that's ever considered a fact because it's all.
Oh
it's all
my goodness!
Opinion. It's all opinion.
Besides the shit that we read.
Yeah,
that's it. That's it.
Of course.
But we don't read a whole lot, dude. We kind of just spitball. But talk about. I wanted to bring that up because I feel like a lot of people had questions about Baker being a certain type of way in the locker room, right? And I think it just depends on who's talking about him, right? He's a very like, what's that word? Like people think one or two ways about him, right?
Yeah.
You know, what's that
word? I know what you're saying. I don't know the exact word,
he's a
but I know.
Controversial guy. So he's like, you very feel one way very strongly about him or the other. So I think a lot of people have come out and said that, one, they've endorsed him on being a decent locker room guy, some of his teammates, but you've also heard some other stuff about him being kind of a distraction off the field. And I think in a locker room like that, he has to be assured that he's the number one guy, right? I don't think he's going to thrive in a, it's a toss-up. They might be splitting reps or, like, you might be the number two going in. I think we're going to see full confidence in Baker, right?
No, they already said he's not the starter.
They said
You
that?
said it's a
It's
competition.
a QB competition.
When did they say that?
Right after they traded for him.
I did not.
It's
know that.
always a competition.
Yeah,
Any
of
position.
course
Tom
it is.
Brady's in a competition.
If I had to put money on who was going to start, I'd put a lot of money on Baker Mayfield starting.
For sure.
Like Baker's going to start. Like, can we all agree on that? Or
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
I think if we
No, but
like you
no-
said, if we're betting men, then
yes. But how are you not going to say it's going to be a competition? Obviously, you're going to say that. You know what I mean? Because Sam Darnold, you're still paying him like you said, $18 million. If you say, "Oh, I'm going to bring in this guy," he's automatically going to start. Like, you can't really do that. You got it.
That sets off the locker room, too.
You're going to give Baker the job. Like, it's just what's going to happen. So.
yeah.
And what if Baker lose?
I mean,
That becomes an interesting
Then it's a
conversation
huge
then
what
if he
if. Yeah, of
loses. Yeah,
course,
if he
yeah.
loses that job, I don't even know what would happen.
And that's probably-
But
Sam
that-
Darnold already know the offense.
he does, but he's
He
also coming
already-
off a career worst year last year.
Yeah, Sam Darnold.
He's
sucks.
not been
Sam
playing
Darnold's
good football.
horrible. He is
Yeah.
not.
I
He
would
is
not
bad
say
at
he's
football.
horrible.
No, he
But
bad
He
at
sucks.
football.
He sucks. I'd rather have Daniel
He
Jones.
had
than Sam
more
Darnold.
picks than touchdowns last year, Cope.
He did. I know. I looked at the stats before this, and they were not good. Right. So, and for a guy that's being paid $18 million, $18 million dollars,
Yeah, it's horrible.
it doesn't. Right. Like it doesn't warrant that. Right.
Not
Ty-
at all.
What?
Not
Well,
at all.
you can't
Good.
you can't say it's not a competition because Baker, yeah, he's coming off offseason surgery. Granted, it's a left shoulder, so it's not. But I mean, it's going to affect the way you play. So if he shows up, he's just in horrible shape. You can't walk into the locker room and be like, yeah, Baker was the starter, and now all these guys, the Robby Andersons, who don't know Baker, but he's boys with Sam Darnold, they're going to be like, oh man, I don't like this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. That's
Like, that's-
and I think that's what we're gonna pull up a video here after we get you off. But he basically said like he wasn't trying to be a dick. He just literally was trying to defend his quarterback. I think is what he was saying.
Mhm.
To me, it sounded like he was backtracking a little bit on what he said because I don't know, he probably just realized he messed up, right? But like that's kind of was his defense is that I'm not trying to come out here and have act a certain way about this. I was just trying to be a boy for my quarterback, which like I get. But do you have to go comment that on some certain post? It wasn't even like an official post either. It was like the Panther Wire. I mean, I'll pull it up here in a second, but it was not like
No, that's why I asked.
ESPN wasn't tweeting this
That's
out.
why I asked.
Like,
Is that real? Like I asked him in the chat yesterday because obviously that is Robby Anderson's Instagram. Like
no, it was a very real comment.
Yeah.
The post itself was literally just speculation.
it could have.
That's what I'm saying.
I have
That
no
didn't make any
idea.
sense.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was.
I see both sides of it.
I do too.
I
yeah,
feel like he
I
was
get
just
it.
thinking
I
out
get it.
loud. And he was like, this is some low key Instagram account. Nobody ever.
And all it took was like one screenshot, and then that shit was everywhere.
And,
Like
it-
literally everywhere.
And then, you feel me? We can't tell him he would not supporting his quarterback.
Yeah.
Because, Sam Darnold is his guy for real.
Yeah.
So,
And he played with them in the Jets,
mhm.
so like they've been boys.
Did he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Oh
like,
shoot, yeah. So that is okay. So that adds another layer to it. I did not know that.
but another,
It might have
it's
been
like
more like
two.
it might have been more like, damn, like I don't want us to trade for Baker because I like Sam, rather than saying, oh no, don't trade for Baker Mayfield, he sucks. It might not have been what he was
yeah.
saying.
Unfortunately, all he said in the Instagram
Yeah.
comment was
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, that
and
was-
there was
yeah.
none of that context. Absolutely,
Whoa.
none.
Yeah, zero.
So
Cope.
it is what it is.
Another like a guy who played at Oklahoma, who's on the Panthers. Rambo's his last name. He already tweeted at Baker. That's not like a dig at Sam Darnold. You know what I mean? So like you could see that side of like he's like
It's
let's
his guy.
rock.
It's his
Yeah,
guy.
he's like let's rock at Baker Mayfield. Like that's like his guy. Oklahoma ties. Like that's where Robby Anderson's like. I've been boys with this guy. So like
It'll be, I think, another thing that people aren't thinking about too much either is that you go to Carolina that has an offensive-minded coach in Rule and a coach that, like, I think it's safe to say at this point is pretty desperate to prove himself. And we have a fly in
on the hot seat.
Oh, this thing's been flying around.
Good
the whole time.
Lord. That scared me, dude. But,
It landed right on your
What you
mic.
thought
It
I've been
landed right on the-
swiping it the
Yeah,
whole time?
I've been like moving around and like.
dude, just popped up out of nowhere on the mic. But
You thought I was just over here just waving?
I don't know. I didn't know what you were doing, honestly. We got flies. We got dogs. But talk about Matt Rule, who he's going to be there for a number of more years, right? I want to believe his deal was pretty long, like at least a 5 to 8 years, somewhere in that span.
They will fire him in a heartbeat.
You think so?
I was
This is
gonna
his
say
last, this is the year.
he's on a prove
If
it
they're
year.
not
gone.
good, it's
Gonna get
over.
fired.
If they're not good, he's gone.
So I would say the one side of that then is
He's going.
there's no doubt that he's putting the quarterback that he thinks gives him the best chance to win on the field. There's no tie to Darnold. There's no tie to anyone. Whoever comes in, whoever can play, right, is going to be the guy who starts week 1.
Yep.
Yeah, I would think that you would trade for Baker.
I guess I should say, but
I would think you'd trade for Baker because you're like, I got no ties to Sam Darnold. I need to win now.
yeah. No.
Like Baker, I mean, granted, if you take last year out of it, we go back a year from now, Baker's talking to the Browns about a $30, $35 million deal because he was playing top 10 level quarterback play.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Now, he gets an injury and you're like, all right, he's pretty much dead in the water. And the Panthers are like, well, we need to win now. Let's go get the guy that can win us games. And if low risk, high reward. That's essentially what I view it as.
I agree. And I don't know if the number would have been that big because I don't think the quarterback market had taken off quite yet a couple years ago, right? Compared to the deals you see now.
Mahomes' deal's different. So
that's true. You keep that in a separate
that's just
category.
Like,
yeah, no, you're right. That was over 500 mil. Like that broke the game. But the obvious problem for them moving forward is that you're in the same division as the Saints and as the Bucks. What do you do about that? That's the tough part for a team that needs to win now, and really a prove-it year for Rule is A, winning season, and B, a shot at the playoffs, right? Like that be a prove it.
One thing I will say is, I mean, Tom Brady's Tom Brady, the Bucks are the Bucks.
Yep.
But with my resident Panthers fan, I'm sure he knows, like, the Saints aren't the same Saints team as we're used to. No Sean Payton, no Drew Brees. Michael Thomas hasn't played in 2 years. I mean,
you're talking to a lot of big
they got some question marks too.
Okay. Hey,
they got some question marks.
I think that's warranted. I will say our studio here we've been pretty bought in on the Saints here as of late.
We are because because here's the thing. Are you familiar with that one guy from Ohio State named Chris Olave? They just got him.
I mean, I like Chris Olave.
I like Chris Olave. Jarvis Landry, who has like a lot of.
Oh, he knows about Jarvis. He knows about Jarvis.
And then you get
Jarvis, my guy.
Offensive player of the year on your team too. Michael Thomas is an excellent receiver. People just forget about him because he was hurt. Like he's very good. They call him slant boy, call him whatever you want. He caught 135 balls.
It's a warranted point though. The amount of time that you miss and come back,
for sure.
and that's a very long amount of time.
But I'm still gonna buy Michael Thomas stock. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas is still very good. Like. And then
I'm not saying he's not good.
Touchdowns and yards like 2 years ago. He also led the league in picks. I'm not going to just forget about that. But Jameis Winston can play football. Like
Jameis Winston looked good before he tore his ACL.
Jameis Winston is good, and he just got LASIK. He just fixed his eyes, so he can finally see the defense. Like
and they just signed Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah, like
that's true. We talked about that.
So solid,
and they got new black alternate helmets.
Yeah, and so just to backtrack for a minute, we talked about who's going to start week 1. Let's see what Vegas has to say.
Okay.
Do you guys want to guess like what the odds are right now? You're
I would love that. Is this either Darnold or Baker? Yeah. Is this what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Like Darnold 3,000.
Okay. Yeah.
Plus 3,000?
Yeah, touchdown's not that far off. Baker's minus 1,200 to start. So like he's
wow.
And Darnold's plus 500.
That's big.
So
that's big.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not that they may or may not know football, but they know betting. So
yeah, and like
that's nuts.
Baker Mayfield's
they got an inside source.
Yeah.
Trust me, bro.
Exactly. Yeah. Vegas seems to know a lot though, so I will give them that.
That is awesome. Well, I'm pumped to see that. That's gonna be fun. Week 1,
7-10.
It's gonna be fun, dude.
Wow. Yeah, I got anywhere from 7 to 10 wins. I think they'll finish within that. If they have a really good season, if they have a really good season, some injuries happen. Christian McCaffrey stays the full year, you can explode a little bit.
I think that's the biggest question mark.
If Christian McCaffrey is at his 1,000 like type of season, and Baker comes back and they could win like 8 or 9. Maybe
that's what I said. Between 7 and 10. The ceiling is 10.
Like they're playing the Saints twice and the Bucks twice. Like they might win one of those games. Maybe.
Ooh.
They have been historically bad.
I'm at week 8 right now. They're 1-7.
Bad.
Yeah, I don't think
you said 1-7.
I'm at week 8 right now. They won it. Listen, Browns is a loss, and it don't matter who started at quarterback for Cleveland.
I don't know about that.
Deshaun Watson, and you're still
they're gonna go trade for Jimmy Garoppolo.
I might be a reach.
Watch.
All right.
They beat the Giants.
So you have them losing to the Seahawks.
New Orleans. Or no, it'd be in Carolina. Don't matter. They'll lose.
They'll
lose to the Cardinals. They'll lose to the Niners. They'll lose to the Rams. They'll lose to the Bucks. and then they'll beat the
They
Falcons.
do. Hey, I will say
lose
they have
to the Bengals.
They have
beat
a
the
gauntlet,
Falcons.
dude.
Lose to the Ravens. Lose to the Broncos.
Jesus.
Beat the Seahawks. Steelers, I guess we give them that one. They'll beat the Lions. Bucks, they'll lose to the Bucks, and then maybe they'll beat the Saints. What is that? 5 wins? 6 wins? Now I am also saying, like, you feel me? Like you say, injuries are a part of the game. Some people may not show up, but right now that is a horrible schedule.
This is a tough schedule.
Yeah,
That is a difficult ass schedule.
Yeah.
I just named off 6 playoff teams
Yeah, easily.
in
Like
the first
locked.
8 games.
Like lock teams too is the crazy part.
Is there a lock for playoff teams anymore in the NFL though? You look back.
Yep.
If you no, I agree. There are.
I'd say yeah.
Like the
Kansas City's going to the playoffs.
Kansas City,
Any team
Buffalo.
Tom Brady's on.
Buffalo.
Bucks are going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'd say the Bucks are going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Rams
It's fair
going
to
to the
say.
playoffs.
It's fair to say. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's
You see a lot though. You
Packers
see a lot,
are
though.
going to the playoffs.
You see a lot of times though.
I don't know
There will
about
be
that.
teams that make it, and then the next year it's a lot like different. Like that happens. Like the playoffs are never the same every year. Like there's always like those.
enter the Bengals.
Look at the Bengals.
Exactly.
Enter
The
the Bengals.
Bengals
Look
were
at
like
the Bengals.
huge long shots out of nowhere. They won it,
Mm.
and that kind of reminds you a little tiny bit reminds you of the Bears because they have the second year.
Oh, here we go,
No,
Ty.
second year quarterback,
Here
new
we
head
go.
coach. Second year quarterback, new coach, new young receivers. I mean, who knows? Who knows? They don't have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
I see where you're going.
They don't
Yeah.
have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins or Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
But Justin Fields could end up being like Joe Burrow. Like, we don't know. He could. He totally could. He's a first round draft pick. Like, whatever.
He's got
a biased
upside.
opinion. It's a biased opinion, but
Ty.
Justin Fields.
I get the eyes. I can feel the eyes over there.
I'm an optimistic Bears fan. That's all I have to say.
That's okay. That's
I'm a
okay. You know
realist.
it. You acknowledge it though. We know that.
Yeah.
We know that. Yeah.
I'm not like Cade. I'm not saying they're going to the playoffs. Or anything.
Oh Jesus.
It's
We're
Kobe.
going to finish in the division.
Third, maybe they get past Minnesota. I doubt it. The Bears will be like 7-10, maybe
Whoa.
6-11. Like I don't know.
That's steep. That might be
Let
steep.
me look
No,
at the
I-
Bears schedule.
Yeah,
Hold
that's
on.
my Bears schedule.
Nah, we're not
No, I've
going.
broken
Hey,
it down.
we can do
I've
it.
broken
We
it
can do it
down.
afterwards. We're not gonna go through it right now. But Drew,
Like
you
I
had
said-
something to say.
Yeah, go ahead, Drew.
I was gonna say, what injury? I want to hear everyone's opinion. What injury are you more worried about? Baker coming off a shoulder, or Jameis coming off an ACL?
That's a good
Baker
question.
I'm not worried about either one.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
if
The
'cause
because
Jameis
it's
don't
either of
run, and
I think
it's a non-throwing shoulder. Like,
yeah, and I also think you look
Yeah.
at it now in a way that both those injuries now, especially with the level of care that they're given, like, dude, even the surgeon that I got my ACL done with, he said he does between 80 and 100 a year. Like every 3 days, this dude damn near is doing an ACL surgery, and that's at the college level. He did work in California with some of the Rams personnel before he came to Northern. Shout out, homie. Yeah. But Dr. Kearns,
You know what I'm saying?
he the man. But you know, both those injuries are something that they see so often. I think at that level, I don't think it's going to be a problem for either of them. I think we look halfway through the season and you don't notice that. You know, they're playing injured or they're playing any differently, right? People aren't even wearing braces after ACL surgery. I won't be wearing a brace.
I don't
this
think
year.
a ACL's surgery is not even like.
especially at quarterback too.
Not,
mean,
I don't think.
don't
for
get me wrong.
Anybody.
Don't get me wrong. I wake up every day and my knee feels like I need WD-40 on it.
Well, for sure, but you're also not a multi-millionaire.
That's true.
At the top
So
of
I
the
also
top
didn't get
personal
now.
trainers
Shout
and
out. I did get. They did
Rehabilitation people.
kick-ass job in PT
Oh, yeah.
over here. They did a great job. But
Clap it up. Yeah.
But you know, you're right. It's not. I'm not going to the people from the Browns or from the Saints.
Like I don't think
It's
anybody
different.
to the ACL and like, oh my god, I'll never be the same.
Well, 10 years ago, maybe.
I know.
Right? Not now.
Derrick Rose towards ACL.
I was
it's
just
over
about to say D Rose. I was literally like
D Rose tears ACL. It's
Yeah,
over
that
with.
was- ooh. Oh, that's so. I
Joe
hate-
Burrow tears his ACL.
He's fine.
Now he's
Plays
back.
week 1 and goes to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know if Odell coming back the same though after a second one.
Who?
Odell
Oh yeah, I don't
He
know.
Now,
said
is
he
that
played
because
the
of the
whole
ACL,
second
or
half
is
of
that
the
just
season
because
without an
Odell has
ACL.
been playing for a while?
after a second ACL, he just tore it again.
That's what I'm saying. Is that because of the ACL, or is that because Odell's getting on and is not the same receiver as we knew?
Well, I mean, I was just saying as far as like recovery goes, like
True.
that's a guy
Yeah.
where like
Well,
You
also
know.
think about tearing your ACL. Looking at myself, I tore it at 20 years old compared to Odell. Your body's a lot different between
Yeah,
that
8
hard
years
in a
on
second,
you.
just
What's
a
that?
second
8
surgery.
years on you.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying. The 8 years is a
Yeah.
difference, man.
Yeah.
Bodies don't regenerate the
I
It's
same
really
way.
40 because he in the NFL.
Exactly that's what I'm saying. Bodies don't regenerate the same way with that much difference. So, yeah, but that's all I had Baker wise. That was a good little chat. I'm excited, dude. I'm excited for week 1. We might have to sneak down there for Lions Panthers.
No, that'd be so tough.
Yeah.
The Lions play the Panthers?
Christmas Eve.
I would not want to spend my Christmas Eve watching that dumpster fire of a game.
Arguably the 2 worst teams in the NFC. I said arguably. Didn't say
You're a
they were the
Bears
2 worst.
fan, bro.
That's in the NFC with the
Arguably.
Giants.
Arguably, the Giants are the Giants are the
The
worst.
Giants and the
The
Seahawks.
Giants and the Seahawks.
I was gonna say there's
The
no
li-
way
okay,
you
okay,
can say
okay,
that.
okay,
There's
okay.
no way you can say that.
And the Falcons.
Some of the worst
I was gonna say, or we
teams.
forget the Falcons are in this. Like,
Some of the worst teams in the NFC.
That's
I will
better.
retract my
I'll take
statement
that.
saying the worst. The bottom of the tiers
I'll
is where
take
the
that.
Lions and the Panthers are. As are the Bears. Like I know where I'm at. You know what I mean?
it's a
Like,
big tier.
There we go.
It's a big tier.
It's
but,
like the bottom tier. It's like the bottom
yeah.
6. Yeah.
But Drew, thank you, brother. Either way, I'm excited for week 1. I know you'll be locked in.
Yeah. No,
What color-
I mean,
What color Baker jersey are you getting first?
I think black goes with more, so I might have to. But my mom's telling me to get the light blue one because
Oh, you gotta get the Carolina blue one.
I was
gotta
gonna
get the
say
Carolina
gonna
blue.
say blue too. I think blue would be
The
clean.
white
Because
one.
I got the orange one for the Browns, so I might as well just get the
Yeah,
blue one. Look tough.
you gonna be looking like Color Rush.
It goes with the 4s that I got.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said it goes with the 4s he got.
The 4s?
Yeah.
I thought he said the force.
Oh no.
Y'all
Nah, I got
Star
that
Wars
too.
nerd.
Yeah.
He's repping it right now,
That's
yeah.
it. But Drew, thank you, brother. Always good to have you on, man.
See you, boys.
May the force be with you.
Yeah, may the force be with you,
I
bro.
appreciate it. You too.
I'll see you. Thanks to the boy Drew for hopping on with us. I know he was excited about that one, dude. Like honestly, biggest Baker guy now. Got a Baker flag in his room in the
Oh, he's
dorm.
got a
Like,
flag. Okay.
I don't like and like he's got all the Browns stuff. I went to a Browns game with him actually. I went to that Monday Night Football game, Browns Ravens, where Justin Tucker set like it was at the time I think a record for a field goal. It was unreal in overtime to finish out that game. That was the Lamar shit game when he like was waddling into the locker room.
Yeah.
And then Huntley, was it
You were
Huntley that
there?
came out? Yeah, dude,
Oh,
that was at that
a
game.
wicked game. It
No.
was a wicked
Who
game.
It
was
was
that came
Trace
out?
McSorley.
No, but after Mix, I thought it was somebody
No,
else.
it was
No.
McSorley. It was McSorley.
After
yeah.
McSorley got
Huntley
hurt.
would have been this last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
After McSorley got hurt,
Somebody
Lamar
else.
came back in. Huntley wasn't ready then.
Okay. You mean Lamar 2.0?
Lamar Jackson Jr.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I do remember Trace McSorley because he had a huge, when I say huge, like a huge conversion on a third down. It's like a little hitch. And I remember watching that and just like the air in First Energy Stadium was like all taken out of everyone. It was crazy.
Back to
dude.
Lamar Huntley. He did not play that way at Utah.
Lamar
at
Huntley?
all.
You mean
Like at
Ty-
all.
Tyler Huntley.
Tyler Huntley, my bad. What I call him? Lamar Huntley?
Lamar Huntley.
Yeah,
It's
it's
fitting.
Yeah, that's
It's
who he
fitting,
is.
yeah.
Change his name. He didn't play like that at Utah. Watch his Utah highlights. You don't see any of that.
I didn't see him play in college before, I don't think.
You didn't see any of that.
Yeah.
He was like, stand in the pocket, throw it around, move around a little bit, but you never saw like Lamar Jr. and it was crazy.
That's odd, man.
Because when I saw
Yeah,
him, I'm like,
that's
bro, that
interesting.
is not the same dude from Utah. Because I'm an Oregon fan. So you feel me? I watch
Yeah, so you
Oregon
tune
games.
in, yeah. That's a big game always.
That is not the same dude that was just throwing touchdowns in Eugene. You know?
Yeah, good callback on Eugene there.
Oregon always let me down.
Let's talk. Finishing on the Bakers thing that we talked about with Drew at length, but I didn't want to like touch on the Robby Anderson stuff here. I've got the. Maybe we have this. Hold on, I guess I goofed. There it is. Okay, we got this pulled up here. This is just some graphic that I liked. Robby Anderson weighs in on the Panthers potentially acquiring Baker Mayfield. Here's the account that I was talking about. It's Panthers Way. This isn't even like
No.
ESPN, Bleacher Report, BR Gridiron, sports. No, just a random. This post at the time had 182 likes.
Yeah, see, like
And he going to go on there and say, no. See, that just, to me, and like I said, we get it both ways. We understand both sides of it. That's his guy. Played with him in the Jets. Like, he's been around Sam. That's his guy. For a post like this, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Why would you even voice your opinion on a post like this?
Yeah.
Of this, like, this could be total bullshit, right? I don't know. It does say per Ian report. I did read that, but like, still, I don't. Put it on the official post then. Like, comment under, like, Ian's, you know what I mean? Like, put Ian's tweet up there. Like, don't put your own, I don't know. I thought it was interesting. And then we do have a video of him actually responding to reporters from just yesterday about his comments. So I will. I'm going to pull that up here real quick because I wanted to hear what he had to say. And he also went on to tweet. It says here, I don't have an issue with Baker. Stop trying to paint that narrative. And yes, he said Trana. So I was quoting it directly. Let me get it up here. Here is.
I guess he said Trana.
Well, I don't want people to think I'm just, spitting words here, huh?
I say Trana.
I know you do. I do every once in a while, but I had to say the tweet right. Here it is. Robby Anderson discussing with reporters.
Prospects of these guys acquiring Baker.
I said what I said, That's just my thinking out loud, my thought,
He's dodging the question like a.
What influenced that particular tweet?
Just trying to be a good teammate to my quarterback, That's it. Just trying to defend the guy who is my quarterback in a sense, you know what I'm saying? That's it.
So there you go. That was it. He didn't really have much to say about it.
I think so. Baker's gonna walk into the locker room. I don't think he's gonna be like, screw Robby Anderson. I think
Baker understands. Baker will understand.
Because here's the thing. Let's flip the narrative here. So let's say Baker was in Cleveland and they were like, okay, we're gonna bring in this new receiver to replace this one guy who's might not be on the team this year. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like it's the same thing. But he wasn't calling out Baker saying, "Oh, Baker sucks. I don't want him."
No,
he was just
that's
saying,
what he was saying.
he was just saying, he was just defending his guy.
He
Exactly.
was being a good teammate,
said
which
what I
is,
said,
I guess is good. But I think in that situation, like maybe I don't know, send your guy a text, be like, "Hey, brother, like here, like you're my guy, whatever." Like send in private.
Yeah, you don't have to say no.
Yeah, no.
See, like, I'm not perfect either. I've said dumb things on social media too. You know what I mean? It's not like he's the first person to ever do that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And CBS reported that Carolina, like we had talked about, like they're not interested in training Darnold because he's owed over $18 million again this year. And no team's going to be kind of like a similar situation for Baker. No team's going to be picking up that contract to put a guy in as a backup quarterback. Right? And there's not a lot of teams right now that are looking for
why didn't they just trade
starter.
Darnold for Baker?
You know what this kind of reminds me of?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Because Cleveland needs a starter.
There had to
they
have
need
been
a
a
starter
reason.
for the year, and they're both on an expiring contract. That's also why the money don't make. It's just an expiring contract.
Yeah.
You're literally like you wouldn't have no cap through the season. It'll literally be right back in the offseason.
I know. So there had to be some reason because I thought about the same thing. Right?
Well, I guess it is coming out the owner pocket, huh?
Yep. But we're assuming
I play
that
too much Madden.
they're assuming that Deshaun. I say they, as in we are assuming that Deshaun's not going to play this year. Hence why you're saying that they need a starter for this entire year. Which, if they play tomorrow, who is the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns?
Josh Dobbs.
Jacoby Brissett.
Oh, is it Brissett?
Yeah.
Brissett's in the Browns.
Yeah.
Oh,
Played some good ball not too long ago with the
Jacoby Brissett,
Colts.
Yeah, he totally has.
You watch him play on the Colts? I'm sure you did.
Yes, I did.
What do you
He
think?
was decent with them big super long sleeves.
Yeah,
He was decent.
he was.
Jacoby
I think he played
Brissett,
pretty well.
he's a serviceable backup.
That's serviceable.
When you need a game or two, he can get you right. I don't think he's a full
He's not
16 game starter.
That's the thing.
With the roster,
now, right?
yeah,
17
they're
games.
actually 17.
Yeah.
And with the roster that they have, they are very much in win now mode. So
Yeah.
that's why you trade for Jimmy Garoppolo and let Nick Chubb carry them to the promised land.
Dude, Chubb's a dog.
Hey, Kareem Hunt can
Chubb
play.
is
too.
Nick Chubb is the
Yo.
best running back in the NFL.
Wow. I did not think. Hey, really?
Yeah.
Think so?
Better than Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor second.
Wow. Would you agree that Jonathan Taylor is more multidimensional than Nick Chubb?
Wait, what about does Derrick Henry exist? Is he like a person still? Or
People are.
Third, but Derrick
Yeah.
Henry, bro, when you
It's hard.
like
to,
Jim.
Yeah.
Now I play the position.
yeah, I know. Yeah. I know you do.
Just-
And you're very
just-
good at it too. yeah.
Just watch him, bro.
I know. Yeah, Nick Chubb's a freak. I love Nick Chubb.
No. Not even Nick. Just watch Derrick Henry. Like sit down and watch a Fulls Titans game, and you'll see.
Mhm.
Like he doesn't. Every year he gonna have a 200-yard game against the Texans. He's a hell of a running back. I don't want to discredit Derrick Henry, but
He also breaks the mold like crazy as far as like what a running back is supposed to be, which is really cool to watch.
But when you like you see quarterbacks in a different light than I see him.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a person like me, I feel like Lamar Jackson is better than Russell Wilson. You may not feel that same way.
Yeah, it's very close.
You know?
It's really close.
Different quarterbacks.
They're just different styles
know?
of player. Yeah.
And McQuan thinks that he can take Derrick Henry one-on-one.
No,
So some
no,
people just think different things.
Did McQuan say that?
And McQuan.
Yeah, he did. He came with a pod and actually
McQuan.
said that.
When?
That's a while ago.
McCoy, don't do that. But look though,
That was
I
a
love the
loser.
confidence.
Look though,
Jaquan,
look
I
though.
love the. I
He
love the,
said,
I
and
love the
I
confidence.
have the footage. Like he literally said, like personally, like he literally said, like I'm betting on myself in that situation.
Hey,
Listen to this though. Like you go
Delusional.
low, it's over.
He's gonna sit, just
You go low on Derrick Henry, it's over.
Yeah, and what are you gonna do? Tackle him high?
No, I'm saying just go low and you'll win.
Oh, that's what you're saying. I'm talking.
Go low and you'll win.
Okay, you're talking like head on
He
head.
stiff arms high.
Yeah,
He stiff arms high.
because
If
he's
you
what,
if,
6'5", 6'3",
if you
6'4"?
get to Derrick Henry within like 3 yards of the line of scrimmage, you'll win.
Yeah,
When you
can't
let him
can't
get up,
going.
when you let him
Yeah.
get ahead of steam, then that's when it gets ugly. But if you get to Derrick Henry early, it's over with. Why you think the Bengals won? They didn't win because they got you. They scored 16 points before McPherson hit the field goal.
Yeah,
they shut
Ryan
down Derrick Henry.
Tannehill was
They shut
bad
down
that
Derrick
game,
Henry.
but you stop Derrick Henry, just get to him early. Nick
Agreed.
Chubb, over with. He's gonna get his regardless,
that's true.
and as will Jonathan Taylor. But the Colts' offensive line is so much better
Yeah,
than the Browns.
spot on.
So
You're spot on. And what's interesting about both those backs too is look at who they have next to them in the backfield, or I could say next to, but who they're splitting that backfield with.
Nick Chubb is
Right.
splitting reps with Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt starts on 90% of the teams in the NFL.
Yeah, agreed. Now, what do you think about Naheem Hines? It's Naheem Hines, right?
Naheem Hines, he's
Yeah.
nice, but he's not a.
He's not like
He's a
Kareem
guy-
Hunt.
I wouldn't
He's
say
like a
he's the
third
level of the
down back.
Kareem Hunt, but I think they have a pretty similar dynamic.
Like
I'd like to say.
he started on a little bit. I feel like a little bit less than half the teams in the NFL he started on.
Okay, I think that's fair. I think you're spot on with that.
'Cause I don't know if
I
he a
wanted
workload-
to
a
ask
workhorse.
about that dynamic
Workhorse.
because Hunt and Hines come in, I think, on pretty similar situations. Now, Hunt has extended his usage, like you talked about. He can be an all-purpose back for a lot of teams in the league, but he has the luxury with the Browns of being a more specialized back,
Yep.
right?
And always being fresh.
Exactly.
Like he
He's a
led
really
the
good
league in
pass
rushing.
catcher,
I think
too.
his rookie year
Did he actually?
with Kansas City.
He had a really
You might
good
be
year.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Kareem Hunt, like
He's a very good football player.
Yeah.
Like, extremely good. He's great in the pass game. He's very good pass catcher.
Mhm.
Extremely good.
that's why
you put
Nick
him
Chubb don't even need to be a pass catcher.
And you can put Kareem Hunt in the slot. You totally can. You totally can.
Yeah. And I think you could probably do the same thing with Hines.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, without
For
question.
sure,
And-
for
and
sure.
Hines is a really good punt returner too. He had like 3 punt returns.
He's an
touchdowns last
athlete.
year.
Yeah, he's an athlete
Yeah.
for sure. But let's talk about Sandra Douglas Morgan, full name. That's the team president, the first black female president in NFL history, hired by the Raiders. Yep, there you go. Las Vegas Raiders, they hired today. It says Thursday in this article, but that's today. I think that just broke like 20 minutes before we recorded this. So that's pretty
Yeah.
neat.
I was getting ready to come over here and
pretty
it
neat
came
news.
over my phone.
Did you?
Yeah.
Now, it is worth noting. It says here, like her hire comes 2 months after their interim president, whose name was Dan Ventrell. He left the organization after less than a year in the job. He said Ventrell said he was fired in retaliation for bringing concerns from multiple employees to the NFL about a hostile work environment. So to me, that means he was complaining about the work environment of the Raiders, right, in Las Vegas, and then they said, screw you, you won't have to deal with that work environment anymore. Go to the curb.
No, I think it is.
What?
Mark Davis. Is that the owner of the Raiders?
It is Davis.
I think it's him.
And Davis actually declined to comment on Ventrell's allegations at the time. The NFL is supposedly looking into those
I
allegations.
bet. I guarantee it's pull up a picture of Mark Davis.
The guy is goofy.
Do we need that? You're talking about just the haircut
He got a
alone?
bowl
Or
cut.
what?
Just look at him,
He's
and then you
weird.
can tell he creates some hostile
The
work
haircut alone?
environments. I guarantee you.
I mean, I could pull up.
He just looks like grumpy, dude. Like, I don't know. He probably gets made fun of for his haircut. First of all, why doesn't he just like get a new haircut? Like, what does he think that looks good? Like,
Maybe he does, man. Who are we to
Like,
judge his hair, man?
man.
All
You
right.
can't tell me
Come
Cheddar Bob
on,
doesn't
bro.
create a
Cheddar
hostile
Bob.
work environment. Does that look like somebody you want to work for?
Bro. No. I mean, hey, don't judge a book by
He
its
looks
cover,
like a horror movie monster.
Yeah, he
Come on, bro.
kind of looks like.
Dude.
You guys ever seen?
I gotta wait.
He looked
Nah,
like
he
the new
looks like-
villain in the Thor movie.
He looks like something. Like,
Gorda God Butcher. Pull up a picture of Gorda God Butcher.
No, dude. I got a better one for you though.
See, bro,
come
stop,
I got a better
bro.
one for you though.
That creates nightmares.
you think that's a real? You think his
That is
hair? Do you think his
wild,
hair's
man.
real? Do you think that's like a top?
Bro, he's a
They
robot.
do.
That's
They
a
do
robot.
hair transplants.
Do
I
you
know
think
for
that's
sure.
like a? like a toupee or like a freaking, you know what I mean?
Usually toupees look better than that though.
That's like
You know what I mean?
so bad, dude. He looks like a big ass like 8-year-old with a buzz cut.
God.
He looks like an 8-year-old, but he's like 85.
God.
Because like little kids get.
He's a 100-year-old, 8-year-old.
Yeah, look at him.
Oh my gosh,
look at him, bro.
He got Benjamin Button.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. He's got some nice teeth though. We're hating on his. He's got a nice set of teeth.
Teeth fake.
Are those real? I was gonna say are
They
those,
could
are
be.
those
They
confirmed?
very
He's
well
a
could be.
billionaire. Those are not his
those are
teeth.
not meant to be real.
That's the pieces.
veneer.
There's a bunch of pieces of toilet in there.
That's true.
Oh
Like,
my
that very
Bunch
well,
of porcelain in his
Very
mouth.
well could be fake.
That's good.
I'll
But
give him the
besides the
benefit of the
point,
doubt.
for all the hate we're giving dude, that's a big move for him. And he had come out and like doubled down on and like really endorsed her. And I talked about at length at how excited the organization is to have her. It'll be interesting to see. You know, this is probably the only time we hear about it, unless something goes wrong, right? Then, in which case, we'll definitely hear her name again. But what you hope in these situations is that there's a, you know, for this especially, is a big deal. This is a big deal. But then you hope that you never hear her name again, right? Because that means that she's doing her job.
Yep.
Everything's going according
He's
to
not a
plan.
person you want on the news.
Exactly. So, and she had said too in her like introductory presser, it says here that, quote, "It's no secret that this organization has faced some recent challenges. But I want to be clear. I'm not here to sweep anything under the rug or avoid problems or concerns that need to be addressed."
That's how it's supposed to be.
Good for her. Good for her, man. It'll be sweet.
Well
a Las
said.
Vegas native. She was most recently the chairwoman of the Nevada Gaming Control Board. Interesting.
Like
Yeah.
video games?
That sounds more like gaming, as in like that'd be like gambling type gaming. That's kind of
I mean,
sounds
it
like
is
that
Las Vegas. It
Yeah,
is
that's
Las
kind of
Vegas.
where my mind goes initially with that.
And when I was actually there like a month ago, they were talking about like gaming. They were referring to it as gambling. Like they're
Okay.
calling it
Oh.
game.
Yeah, so I'm thinking
But
that's
it
what
could be
that
video
is.
games too. I don't know.
No, I hope not.
Yeah,
I hope they did not bring over a Madden overseer to run an NFL organization.
Yeah, that'd be a little strange. That'd be strange.
it would be. But
Yeah.
hey, it is what it is, man. Matt Max got a picture with her. People out. Chandler Jones, shout out, congrats on Twitter. Good for her, man. Good for her. Good for football. Good for the NFL. Good for the Shield. Anyways, what first, fellas? Trent Williams making the 99 club or Aaron Rodgers crazy? I think you want to go Aaron first. Do we want to go Aaron first?
Yeah.
All right, we can go Aaron first. I'm pulling it up. Jimmy,
Okay.
walk me through.
So-
Hold on, we're getting the image
Yeah,
up
so
here.
first of all,
Walk me through the tattoo
I'm not-
here.
I'm not like a tattoo hater. I myself have a tattoo. I think tattoos all have their own.
I'm a
meaning.
hater
All I
of
understand is
whatever the hell this
all-
is.
All tattoos have their own special meaning to people. So, but this is like, it looks like Aaron Rodgers went on some like crazy like vision quest into the woods and like maybe did some like crazy drugs or something and like had these visions of like his life or whatever. Like I see like the ocean and like this looks like something like Kobe said. This would be on like some like some girl's room on like tapestry. She's
Yeah.
obsessed with astrology.
Like this is definitely something that
I
he would
see-
try to explain away with like, oh, it was
Yeah.
like my rising Leo moon this month, and I had to get
or,
this.
or whatever. I don't even know what that means.
I'm
have no
kind of
idea.
spitballing. I probably just offended somebody, so if I
No,
did, I
yeah.
Oh,
apologize.
God, you
but-
just offended someone. Hey, we apologize. I don't associate with nothing that they got going on. I love everybody,
Hey,
any and everybody.
Like I said.
so
I'm
do I.
not-
You can love someone and still
but
rip
here's
on
the
their
thing,
tattoo.
Here's the thing.
I don't love Aaron Rodgers.
I
though.
do not like Aaron Rodgers, and I think his tattoo is weird. Here's the thing: if Aaron Rodgers sat me down, explained to me everything that meant, maybe it would make sense. But like,
No, it wouldn't.
he's gonna
Probably not.
He's probably gonna do some like stupid celebration, walk around and be like, "Look at me! Like, look at this!" Like.
Is that the Aaron Rodgers? Is that the Aaron Rodgers
He's probably
voice?
just gonna like throw touchdowns and like point to his arm or something. I don't know. It just,
That's the new go-to
who
Selly
knows,
for
who
Aaron.
knows? Like there's are those lions or like tigers or like.
I'm going to pray to God tonight that Aaron Rodgers listens to this.
Dude,
I hope so.
And he makes that his celebration. Every time
I
he
hope
scores,
so.
he just points
This will
at
be
it.
He probably will.
this will be a clip on the YouTube,
probably
so make
will.
sure if you're
Got him.
listening,
To blow it
if
up.
you're listening to
Yeah.
this, you need to lock in and like check these out because it's just
Yeah.
not the same experience.
No, you
Hey,
gotta,
if
you gotta,
you
you gotta
are-
watch it. You gotta
You
watch.
actually
you gotta
can watch
it.
on Spotify as well. The
Gotta
video
watch
is
it.
transcribed to Spotify.
I feel like
Excuse me.
We're all very animated people. You'll hear our voices, but like we'll have like mannerisms too. Like I move my hands a lot when I speak. Like Tyshawn's like moving his feet around. Like Kobe's like bopping his head or whatever. You know. Like, we all have like little like mannerisms, and I think it brings a lot of value to the show.
Yeah.
If people watch it, they're like, oh, these guys are cool. Like they're gonna like,
exactly.
you know.
Exactly. But otherwise, we'll move on. We'll move on from Aaron. Let's talk a bit about Trent Williams getting into the 99 club, which I guess we learned from Utah that is different than just having a 99 rating, right? They've kind of when did they start this a couple years ago?
Came out with it like
4 or 5
3 years ago, I think, because it was Mahomes,
Khalil
Brady.
Mack.
I remember seeing
DeAndre
Aaron
Hopkins.
Donald get his like 99 club.
So
Like
it's
he get like a
been 3
little
years.
box. They get like a little box of like goodies and stuff.
It was Mahomes, Brady,
Expensive
Khalil
ass
Mack,
goodies.
DeAndre Hopkins. Last year it was Aaron Donald, Mahomes again, Brady again, I think, and Devontae Adams.
Is Rodgers in it now? Or Rodgers was 99 last year too, I think.
No, he wasn't.
Was Rodgers been 99 yet?
No.
That's crazy.
I'm not sure.
Because like
Or
here's the thing.
MVP, yeah.
Like,
like
I'll
the
talk a lot of shit about
MVPs,
Rodgers.
plural.
Aaron Rodgers is a freaking beast. Like he should be a 99 without question. Like he's
a
back
player,
to like
yeah.
MVP. Like
He's a player.
I'm not gonna find a bigger Aaron Rodgers hater than me, but he's incredible.
No,
Like,
yeah. No, I think that's
Because like when you join the 90, they give you like gold cleats, they get you a chain.
yeah.
dude. That's what I was saying. They get, when
Travis
I say
Kelce
they get
had
a
made it in last year. Jalen Ramsey made it in later in the year.
they get a goodie
TJ
bag.
Watt got
When
in
I
there.
say goodie bag,
It's more than goodies. It's more
It's
than
a
a goodie
bag.
bag.
More
It's
than
a
goodies.
For the Burger
bag.
King.
Yeah.
You saw that
it's a
dude,
bag inside a bag.
that Burger King worker,
What?
27 years, never missed a day. They gave him a bag of candy.
I did see that dude.
And he got
but then
300,000
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, there we go. Finish that with a
donations.
positive note. That is crazy though.
Yeah.
What?
That is
Wait,
wild.
wait.
There was you can tell it better than
Holy
I can,
cow.
but
It was a Burger King worker, and he never missed a day for 27 years. Never missed a day. Never was late. Just a perfect worker.
yeah,
So Burger King corporate literally sent him like a bag of like pens and candy and
like thank you for
shirts.
your service and your great employee.
and somebody had recorded it and posted it on Twitter. Like he was grateful for it. Like he was happy. Like he really enjoyed the pens and candy. And now he's got like 300,000
because that's what those type of people.
donations
That's
and
that's
stuff.
Oh,
that's what those
yeah,
type of people
yeah.
are. Like they don't do it for they don't do it for that stuff.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Admirable. Let's take a look at the video. I think this is Adrian Peterson on the video. Actually, that was what
Nah, he
was
finna
given
fight
the,
Le'Veon
given
Bell.
the credits to. Yeah, exactly. He out here recording his
Better get in
boy
the gym.
first, I guess though. He's too busy recording.
He better get in the gym.
But we'll just play. I don't have the sound on it. It's nothing like too special. But you can see right here. First of all, absolute freaking beast.
Look how big he is, dude.
Making
Holy
Look at his legs.
You were the first.
Big guys. I feel like big guys always got legs like that.
It's Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
Let's go.
they do, bro.
Look at his flip flops. That's pretty cool flip flops.
How much do you think those cost?
A lot.
Smooth fire.
Smooth
They got a special deal.
Let's get to open the box here. But yeah, this was just the reaction. I can fast forward a little bit here. Let's get him actually getting into the box. There we go. What do we got first? That must be the actual, like a little trophy or something.
Yeah.
Didn't they get necklaces, like big? Yeah, they got
Nice
in the
chains,
past. I
yeah.
think they did. So I wonder. I didn't even watch this video beforehand. I just wanted us to see it. But he sure is taking his time. Look at the packaging detail. That must be the. That's got to be some bling, right? Cameraman, if this is AP, he got to do a better job. No, he really not, dude. Dude, look at the arms on this dude. He makes that thing look tiny.
You know somebody's house is
at his
like
hands.
expensive when like their ceilings is way high.
True, especially how tall he is. Because they just
He's
got
like 6'7" or something
yeah,
like that.
and there's still so much room.
He can't touch the ceiling if he jumped for it.
No, you're right though. You're 100% right. I guess we don't get a whole box, but that was. I just thought that was worth noting. Cool little video. Cool dude. I think he really is one of the most influential tackles right now in the game,
ballot
if
Hall
not
of Famer.
if not the most.
Without
right?
question,
yeah,
he's a
for
first
sure.
ballot Hall of Famer. Yeah, as is Joe Thomas. Yeah, like all those other guys. So you gotta
And I
recognize
saw
them,
a little article back to my lines about Taylor Decker. He was asked about what two tackles that he had asked if he kind of like watches any tackles in the game, right? Because he's a Pro Bowl guy. Like plays at a high level. He's not to that level. But he had said that Williams and what's his name on the Cowboys?
Zach Martin.
Tyron Smith.
That's the one that I'm thinking of. He had said that those two guys, that just like watching film on those guys, you can tell like they are of a different caliber,
Trent
right?
Williams is a different kind of man.
He is.
He's an alien.
He's an
You guys, like,
athlete.
you
playing
hear his
left tackle.
You hear his teammates talk about him too, and how they talk about him and how scary he is just to play against, and like what it feels like to be around that guy. He just has this like
An aura.
Aura, yeah. I was gonna say I don't know if aura is the right word, but that's what it sounds like, dude. Listen to like Kittle talk about him a lot, which is something that like obviously he's gonna have a great idea of what it's like to play next to him because he's right next to him a lot of the time, depending on the formation. But Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should get McQuan on here to ask what he thinks about one-on-one with Williams, like he did with Derek.
I think McQuan will come to his senses on that one.
Do you think so?
Yeah. You know how long Trent Williams' arms are, bro? He wouldn't even have to move. Like McQuan's really fast.
That'd be terrifying.
McQuan is very
Yeah.
fast. Like Trent Williams' arms probably like 4 feet long. All he has to do is just
Scary.
like. And this is not even me hating on McQuan. This is just
No,
Trent,
no,
it's
neither-
Trent Williams. Bro.
neither am I.
It's Trent Williams, bro. Like,
But
come on,
dog,
come on, bro.
crazy.
Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say like I'm gonna moss Jalen Ramsey. Like, I'm not gonna because I will never do that. Like it'll just never happen. Like,
me and
Tay in the end
zone. Who you got?
you know,
Remember that text the other day?
uh,
That was I cracked me up. That was good.
it was Zay.
Oh, it was
I didn't
Isaiah.
say
My
Tay.
bad, my
Tay comes
bad, my
50
bad.
inches. I wouldn't have said. I didn't say. That's why I didn't say.
It was Hollywood. My bad.
Because I was with Hollywood.
That was
That's
funny.
What, like I wasn't.
Y'all were
no,
talking
I was with him. I'm like, hey, watch this. He's like, all right, let's do it. Let's like fuck with these guys.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Shout out Tavion. He
Shout out
jumped
Tavion.
He jumped a 30-inch vertical
Yeah.
with a 45
That dude,
pound plate today.
bro.
How? Like that doesn't make any sense.
Hey,
That's
Depot got
wrong.
29 too.
That's
Hey,
wrong.
shout out to Depot too. He
Shout
can
out
jump,
Depot.
too.
I will say though, not to discredit those
Boys are
guys
leapers.
because they can both jump like
Yeah.
crazy. Those vert pads that we use are bullshit.
maybe.
They're bullshit, dude.
Because
There's not right. There's so many ways to cheat. Not to say those guys are, but there are so many ways to cheat out of
You should just
scores.
jump and like hit the thing.
That's what I'm saying. I think you need the old school go up and tap because
Yeah.
there are so many ways that your score can be higher, lower, whatever on those. And like, I don't trust them.
It'd be times I feel like I just jumped high and it'd be lowered. And
And there'll be sometimes where you feel like shit and you're like, how did I just jump that? Like that doesn't make any and that's the reason they don't use those because they'd be a lot easier to use than those other the tall ones.
Yeah.
But like
they're a lot more efficient because you get way more reps.
exactly.
In,
But there's a reason they don't use those at combines and
Yeah.
other testing and other things. But on a different note, we'll move over to college football. USC, UCLA, they're heading to the Big Ten like we talked about earlier. The teams will presumably, like I talked about, make the move after the 2024 season, as that's when their TV contracts expire. And that's what we talked about earlier, is that's where the money in college football is. If it's not in recruits' pockets, it's in TV deals.
Yep.
Right? Okay, fair. It's interesting, man. The Pac-12 was, quote, extremely surprised and disappointed about the move. That's what they came out and said.
I don't know why
Which
they
is like,
thought they wouldn't. Like,
well,
I say
Yeah.
extremely surprised. Were you extremely surprised?
look at your conference.
Look at the state of football. Were you extremely surprised?
not even the state. Like, just look at your conference.
horrible.
They're now probably headlined, I would assume, by Oregon and Washington, right? Would be the top two. Or I guess
and
Utah, you can make an argument, right?
If I'm not mistaken, the last time a Pac-12 team made the playoffs was Washington with Jake Browning. Isn't that correct?
Yes,
You might
I
be
think that was
right.
like 2018.
that was
John
like-
Ross.
Yeah, it was the John Ross team, wasn't
Dude,
it?
Yeah,
the Pac-12,
Wow.
the Pac-12 is a waste.
Vita Vea is a
like,
stud too, dude. Holy cow. Still is.
That was a loaded team, but like, there's a reason why there hasn't been a team from the Pac-12 back in the playoffs because the Pac-12 sucks. Like,
They do, man. Like they actually do.
Really good basketball conference. Is this deal the USC and UCLA only for football or is it everything?
no, everything.
I
Wow.
believe it's everything.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't
But
think
be
you could
wrong.
like.
I don't know if you
Like,
well,
I think you could probably be in different conferences, but not that drastic to where your basketball team plays Pac-12.
yeah.
And
That's what Notre Dame does though, because Notre Dame's in the ACC for basketball.
Yeah.
but they're independent for football. So I was just
Yep,
wondering.
that's true. That's
So,
true.
you know what I mean?
That's
the
a-
ACC,
that's a great
the
example.
ACC is probably going to get Notre Dame though for football.
It sounds like
They
it.
should. Or
Right.
maybe the Big Ten.
It sounds
Notre
like
Dame
it.
is like in the Big Ten region. I mean, obviously we know now that regions do not
I was saying,
matter.
literally, we know
No.
that means nothing because
Nothing.
those two schools are all in the
Nothing,
West
yeah.
Coast.
Yeah, but, like-
and that's part of the craziest thing to me is like the money in this, right? And I had like a note here talking about like, why don't we see this at any other level of football? D2, for example. Number one, these two teams are on the West Coast. Every other Big Ten team, but the majority of Big Ten teams are all Midwest teams, right? Travel is money like crazy. That also, you're going to have kids that are missing class a lot more often, which means probably more tutors. You're feeding all these guys. You're housing them in hotels. You're paying for planes. You're getting equipment over there. All of that. Money, money, money. The TV deals. Now, just how much money the Pac-12 is losing on this, right? It had said in this article that the rights for Pac-12 teams without UCLA and USC, referred to here as like the California Powers. Someone thought they were clever. They're now worth about $30 million annually, those TV deals, down from approximately $42 million per program with both the Trojans and the Bruins. I almost combined them right there. It's a lot of money, dude. It's a lot of money for schools that we know in the grand scheme of things, a lot of schools don't turn profit on football, right? A lot of schools do not. Now that's changing, right? And especially these schools we're talking about that are at the upper class of these schools, right? We know a lot of these schools do pull in money, but the vast majority of college football teams do not pull in actual revenue.
Division I or all college football?
I'm talking all.
Okay. Because
Division I know like a lot of these schools are making bank. Yeah.
Yeah,
because you just heard that TV deal. Yeah, you just heard the TV deal.
I could totally see like Division II and Division III teams like losing money for their school.
Oh, almost all of them.
Like
do.
we probably lose money for our school too.
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
probably really close. We're probably like right around even, maybe a little lower. I have no idea. I shouldn't even speculate. I have no clue.
Yeah, it's interesting, but like
The
even
Pac-12 would not be a conference in 5 years.
That's what I don't think will happen. I don't think so either.
No, there's no way. There's no way.
I don't think so either, and that's what is kind of happening right now. They're trying to fight back against these super conferences, which has really become the Big Ten and the SEC. And I think now before the moves of Texas, Oklahoma, and now you have USC, UCLA, before those moves, to me, those are still the two biggest conferences, right? But the gap between those and the other Power 5 conferences in the Pac-12, the ACC, and the Big 12 has gone from here to here.
But you know what?
Right? It's like it's gone. It's been exaggerated like crazy.
The SEC was just too good.
Yeah.
Like every year, Northwestern was like 8-0 a couple years ago. Nobody gave them a shot against the playoffs. Like they're gonna go lose to Ohio State anyways. The Big Ten is run by Ohio State. ACC is run by Clemson. The Big 12 was run by Oklahoma. In the Pac-12, you got a new team every other year.
Yeah,
but they were never that good.
I wouldn't say comparing Clemson and Ohio State together in the way they were. I don't think it's the same.
No.
I don't think it's the same.
Clemson had like a 3 or 4 year run. Ohio State has been dominating the Big Ten for a long time.
No,
I was saying the other way around.
No,
I think Clemson has a stronger hold.
No
on
one
the
has won the ACC other than Clemson for like the past like 6-7 years.
Didn't Pittsburgh just win the ACC this year?
Pittsburgh did win the ACC.
That's what I'm saying. Like
1 year.
Clemson
Hold on,
wasn't
but
that
listen,
strong
hear me
last
out.
year,
Hear me out.
They really weren't.
The hold that the Clemson has historically has had on the ACC is much stronger than the hold that Ohio State has
in like the
on
last
Big Ten.
decade. Because
That's what I'm
remember
saying.
before, remember when Jameis was there, Florida State ran it, and then the U. Like, dude, Clemson has only been like a great program for maybe I could be wrong here, like the last like decade. Like,
I don't think you're too far off.
No,
I don't think you're too far off.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but like what I'm saying is like
they don't have the history of some of these other programs.
Like
sure.
not even the history. Like those games against those conference opponents don't matter because everybody else is bad.
And we know that because, like you said, the playoff committee knows that, and they're not giving them the credit.
Pittsburgh beat Clemson. They didn't care about it.
Played Wake Forest in it. Then Clemson wasn't even in the ACC championship. It was Pittsburgh versus Wake Forest.
I'm not talking about that. I'm saying Pittsburgh beat Clemson in the regular season, and it wasn't a marquee win.
Yeah.
No,
Ohio State
a year before it would have been huge though.
Like Ohio State could beat Iowa, and it wouldn't even be a marquee win.
And let me tell you, like talk about marquee wins, and even go back to this comparison, Ohio State Clemson. I was at the Michigan Ohio State game last year.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about a marquee win.
Dude.
I'm a State fan. I just went with my boys because they're Michigan fans. Dude, the environment in that place. Talk about like a marquee win. And obviously, like we all know the playoff implications that game had. Like that was arguably the biggest or one of the biggest games of college football.
Yeah,
that last
I'd say
year.
that was the biggest game.
Crazy.
To
That was
be
the
honest,
biggest game.
regular
I think it
season
was.
game.
That's what I'm saying.
I was just about to say that. Yeah,
and I think it was.
Without question.
And to think that game had so much more stake, it wasn't even comparable to that ACC contest. I think that starts to show that gap, right? And now we've seen it just take a leap.
Like I watched that Ohio State Michigan game. Like that's why I don't even think it's the you got to get rid of divisions in conferences.
Yeah.
Really?
Look at the Big Ten East versus the Big Ten West. Like you,
Like I didn't even like I watched the first quarter and a half of the Big Ten championship. That game was over. What did they play? Iowa. That game was over.
No, it was Michigan. No, it was
Michigan versus Iowa. That game was over.
It was
42-3.
I didn't even think to watch the ACC championship.
Yeah, and I don't blame you. Like I don't blame
The
you at all.
SEC championship, crazy.
Every year.
Georgia versus Alabama, crazy. That's a crazy game. I'm not missing that game.
Think if one of those teams goes out, there are teams right there. Like you get Florida goes in there. Like we've seen them give them a game, or you get LSU that's made runs, or
Baylor or Oklahoma
you know what
in
I
the
mean?
Big 12 championship, didn't even think about it. The Pac-12 championship every year, snooze fest. It's raining and it's a night game every year.
Pac-12
Snooze
after
fest.
dark,
Wait,
baby.
wait,
Snooze
Got the
fest.
hand raised.
The Big 12 championship was electric this year. It was Oklahoma State, Baylor. It came down to the last play of the game.
is
The
true.
pylon dive. Hey, you
For
missed
sure.
hey,
When you watched
missed a hell of a game.
I watched the
Oh,
game.
you did? Okay.
I watched because I like football.
Yeah.
But
And
that's
it-
not
it
a
is good
game that
football.
everybody checking for.
No,
Yeah,
you're right.
I
You're right.
completely agree.
And I
I
will
agree
say,
with that.
dude,
I agree with that.
Oklahoma State had a squad.
Oh, Oklahoma
They
State
ended
was
up going on
really
to beat
good.
Notre Dame in that bowl game,
Yeah,
right?
they were the last team. They were the first team out, I think. Weren't they like number 5? Or
Yeah, I want to say they were 5 or 6.
Wait, no. Who won that championship? Did Baylor win that or did Oklahoma State win the championship game?
That's a good
Oklahoma
question.
State
It
won.
was
Okay,
Oklahoma State.
because it
I
came
wanna
down
say.
to like the pylon and like they didn't get it or whatever.
Wait, no. I think Baylor
Baylor
won.
won because Oklahoma
Did they?
State was
Yeah,
trying to
Baylor won.
Oklahoma State would have made the playoff if they scored that touchdown.
Yeah.
that right?
Oklahoma State was going to make it in
Yeah.
I did not know
because
that.
somebody who lost. Georgia lost.
Yeah, that's
Georgia
right.
was
So they got
undefeated.
in.
Right.
Georgia was undefeated.
That's right, and then they had that
Alabama
loss.
Georgia
beat
lost
them.
the SEC championship. Yeah.
So people thought
Baylor
they
won that
were
game.
going to get bumped, right? People
Yeah,
thought Georgia.
that's
was
why
gonna get
I
bumped.
watched because I'm like this game. You know what I'm saying?
I
And
think
Oklahoma State lost.
You can't hold Georgia.
The
I
game
think
was
Georgia
nuts.
still would have made it if.
Mm-mm.
That's crazy.
Nope, they wouldn't
Maybe
have made
not.
it.
But then
I
they
don't think-
ended up winning it too.
It'd have been all conference. It'd have been all conference champions. SEC champion in Alabama, the Big Ten champion in Michigan. The who else was in there?
Cincinnati. No,
Cincinnati.
Dude,
It was-
Georgia gets it over Cincinnati.
Yeah, they'd have
Agreed.
Cincinnati got
They'd have
bumped.
put 'em in.
Cincinnati gets bumped.
Yeah.
That-
Back
and
to
that's
the
terrible.
I just wanted to go touch on this again. The UCLA USC topic we're talking about. It was interesting to note too. The vote from the Big Ten was unanimous to let those schools in.
Oh,
I mean, yeah,
I
it makes
hope it
sense,
should
but
be, yeah.
but there wasn't at least one person that was like, "Why are we bringing these guys in from all the way over here?" But I think
It's
in
money.
the back
Yeah.
but in the back of their heads, they're like, "We can't be these teams down here. We have to be here with the SEC." Right? It's like it just keeps elevating.
It adds depth. It adds depth to the conference.
Oh, duh.
Huge.
And, like you're saying, the Big Ten West has notoriously been
now,
shaky.
Now we
I'm
got
watching-
USC,
Now it'll
like,
be really interesting.
Wisconsin, Iowa, like
Yeah,
I don't
now
want to
it'll be
watch
interesting.
that.
UCLA too. I mean,
I don't want to watch that.
Yeah.
And
I
we'll
don't
say
want to watch Power Hour against Power Hour all game.
very okay. I don't know if is that really what it is though.
It's literally
Wisconsin,
what it is.
Iowa.
That's the stereotype.
It's punt, field goal, punt, interception, touchdown, punt,
That's
field goal. Like, and it's like gonna be ended up
I
being
love
like
Big
it'll be
Ten
it'll be
football.
like 21-13.
No, I like. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying I don't like football. Like, I like watching Big Ten football, but like, it's the reason for it. Like,
Well, these two teams that were bringing
When
in
you go
bring
against-
a different brand of football. Maybe that shakes it up a
exactly.
little.
And
Maybe
that's
it
what-
shakes
that's
up a
what
little
it's
bit.
gonna do. It's what it's going to have to do. That's what the Big Ten needs because the only
I'd agree.
teams with high-powered offenses year in year out, Ohio State and Penn State on a good year.
Yeah, I would say that Michigan State hasn't had like
They don't
that.
have no like
Michigan-
Kenneth Walker. He was crazy.
Yeah, but
He was
as an
crazy.
offense, they didn't have with actually. Although Thorne actually put up it's sneaky great numbers. I was very
beating
impressed.
everybody.
What's that?
I feel like they were just beating everybody.
Yeah, but like Thorne, looking at his numbers after the year, he never was a guy that I watched and was like crazy blown away by his play.
he's just
he
solid.
made
He's
good, he
solid.
made great plays at certain moments, but. It was interesting. I'm very interested to see what comes from him this next year. They've picked up a couple other quarterbacks that'll be competing for that job as well. Even Michigan at points felt like they could have that offense to be kind of break
But
out with
then it
that,
would just become
with that
stagnant.
backfield that they had, and then they just wouldn't be able to click for
They
like
got to start
multiple
JJ
possessions.
McCarthy.
That,
I feel like he
that too.
he unlocked their offense.
How many quarterbacks do you have if you have two quarterbacks? None. That's how the old saying goes.
Mm-hmm.
How do you rotate in a guy like that to a young guy like that compared to, like
Because then you bring him in, he throw a pick. Now it's we should have never put him in the game.
But if you put him in,
Or
he
you
makes
put him
a
in, he
play,
throw a touchdown. He needs to be starting. Like you can't keep doing
It was
that.
like it was
It's a
like
lose-lose.
Remember the play against Michigan State? He fumbled the ball and like basically cost them
Yep.
the game. Like why? Like think about if you're Cade McNamara sitting on the sideline. Like
and you watch them.
how do you take Cade McNamara out of the game there? You just can't. Like and it obviously ended up being fine for Michigan. They got in the playoff, won the. You know what I mean? But like, imagine if they didn't go to the Big Ten championship and do it. Harbaugh would have been gone. Like. You can't put J.J. McCarthy in that situation right there. J.J. McCarthy is really good. He's going to have a great career. You cannot take him out. You cannot take McNamara out right there.
Yeah.
Like that game right there, Michigan versus Michigan State. That game was crazy.
Crazy.
It was.
That was an
It
awesome
always
game.
is.
That
I'm
was
not
like an always
watching.
is.
I'm not watching Miami versus Florida, or Miami versus Florida State. I'm not watching that.
Anymore. Because maybe like 20 years ago, I'd be like,
Both
No,
teams
I
have not been
Exactly.
good
No, I completely
at the
agree.
same time for
For a
probably since
long
we were
time.
babies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One thing that I didn't mention, actually, this cracked me up when I was reading this article from ESPN about the move from the Pac-12 to the Big Ten, is that in their statement from the Pac-12, they said, and I'm like just taking a piece out of their statement, but it literally says, "We've long been known as the Conference of Champions, and we're unwavering in our commitment to extend that title."
The Pac-12 said that?
The Pac-12 conference said that in an official statement to ESPN.
The Pac-12 has they have the first ever win in the college football playoff.
Do they?
Yep. When Florida State lost to Oregon. That was before Ezekiel Elliott ripped Alabama's face off.
Yeah. And then you got in terms of the conference of champions, I could see why that would historically make sense because of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and John Wooden at UCLA. Of course, like that's like the best college. That's like the best college basketball like combination of all time.
I guess,
ever. They won 89 games in a row and 3 national championships.
My scope is
like-
pretty small. It's football. That's what I think. Football.
I
immediately.
totally think football too.
Yeah.
You gotta remember the other
you're right.
sports too.
You're right.
Like, and then obviously you have like the USC powerhouse in football. Like they had
They've gone through their
incredible run at, you know what I mean? But to call themselves a conference champ, like I mean, it kind of makes sense for
Stretch.
basketball, but it's a stretch. It's
But, like,
a stretch. It's
read
a
the
stretch.
room. But like read the room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Look
Like
at the, okay,
look at the SEC.
yeah.
Look at what the Big Ten just stole from you.
Yep.
Read the room. You might think that. And let me tell you
Yeah.
something. Nobody else does.
No one else thinks
Nobody
that.
else does.
Nobody.
Yeah. It'll be interesting, man.
Yeah.
Maybe we got to start. Maybe we'll get. We'll have to get our guy from the GLIAC back on here. We'll have to get Cam back on here and talk about making a super conference. Maybe we should do that.
But just
That'd be fun. I'll hit him back up.
just a crazy Kareem stat for you guys. I saw this on Twitter yesterday. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar won 3 national championships in college. He lost 2 games. He had more national titles than losses in his entire college career.
That's terrifying.
That's a real stat. Look,
That's-
you can look it up. I
that's
put it
terrifying.
on anything.
Yeah, I believe you.
So
You're still
that's
crazy.
That's your Division I reject stat of the day for you. Not even a
Hashtag-
football. Not even a football stat.
Hashtag stat that.
Yeah. We could do like a little new segment, like stat of the day, like a bizarre stat. We can bring that to the show.
I like it.
Just a little like,
Let's do it.
everyone finds a new stat every day to bring in and like you just talk about it. What do we think about that, Tyshawn? Stat of the day. Like everyone comes into the studio, does a little bit of research. They have a stat to try to blow somebody's mind. As I just did with the 3 national championships versus 2 losses in an entire college career.
Bet we could do that. Start
Do
of
it.
the day.
Stat of the day.
Like
Let's
it.
do it.
Yeah.
Knock it in. Lock it up.
Lock it in.
Lock it up.
We'll have to come up with a better name or something of it.
Stat of the day. I mean,
Yeah, that's
Start
not
of the
bad.
pod.
stat of the pod. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll think
We'll
of something.
brainstorm.
Yeah,
We'll do
yeah,
a little
we'll do
think
something.
tank on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's all I got today.
Yeah,
So
hey.
that's a good one. We went on. We had a
Shout
lot to
out
talk
Corey.
about today, though.
Shout out Malcolm. Shout out Hundo. Shout out all my boys. Shout out my granny. Y'all know the deal.
Shout out to my hometown fantasy football leagues, A-Palm and the Gentlemen's. I look forward to the season.
Shout out Mrs. Manzo and her spray butter.
Yeah.
Shout out Sarge.
Shout out Sarge.